You're listening to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast network. You're listening to the Dolphins Talk fan series, introducing you to some of the Miami Dolphins' biggest fans. If you'd like to nominate a fan to appear on the show, shoot us an email at dolphinstalk1977@gmail.com or send us a message on Twitter @DolphinsTalk. And now, here's today's episode of the Dolphins Talk fan series.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans, and thank you once again for listening to the DolphinsTalk.com fan series. I am your host, Mike, joined as always by Ian Berger. Biggie Ian, how you doing today?
I'm good, Mike. Thank you for having me today. And I love, again, we're in those summer months when there's not a lot of Miami Dolphins news coming out, but I love talking to these great fans and learning about them. This is awesome.
This has been so much fun, our little fan series here, to get to meet some of the Miami Dolphins fans from all over the world. We've spoken to some from the UK, some from New York, some from Iowa, some from Florida, all over. Because as we always say, the Miami Dolphins have one of the largest and most diverse fan bases in the NFL, with fans in all 50 states and countries around the world. This podcast series is to help our listeners get to know some of those fans a little bit better. Some of the fans we talk to, you may already know through their social media presence, and others you may be learning about and meeting for the very first time. So with that said, let's give a warm DolphinsTalk.com welcome to Shaun Moore. Shaun, how are you doing today?
Hey, guys. I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We are doing outstanding.
Awesome.
Summer's here, and we're about 1 month away or a little bit less here from training camp, so it's going to be full football season soon.
Absolutely. Feels like it's been a couple of years, but yeah, we're getting close.
I know. It's been a long, everything with the virus just seems to have slowed everything down, but it'll be here before we know it. So, first question, where are you from and how did you become a fan of the Miami Dolphins?
So I'm originally from West Palm Beach, Florida, but I've been living in Orlando for the last 21 years. My dad still lives in West Palm Beach, and so he and I are season ticket holders, so we go to the games all the time. But I became a fan because of my dad. He actually was originally from upstate New York and moved to South Florida in the mid-'70s, and there was no Sunday ticket or anything back then, so he just had to kind of watch whatever football was on TV, and he fell in love with the Dolphins. And we just, from my earliest years, I can remember just hanging out with my dad and watching the Dolphins, and he'd even let me stay up late at night to watch a Marino comeback on Monday Night Football, which seemed to happen an awful lot when I was a kid. So that was it for me. I was hooked.
Where is he from in upstate New York?
Outside of Albany, in a town called Troy, the home.
Yes, I know Troy. Yeah, okay. A lot of Miami Dolphins fans in upstate New York, Ian. We run across so many, myself included. We run across so many. It is insane. So, Shaun, what do you do for a living, and what kind of work do you do?
So I work at a university here in Orlando. It's technically in Winter Park. It's called Full Sail University.
WWE, yeah.
Yes. So I've been with Full Sail going on 20 years. I'm actually part of the alumni relations team, working with all of our amazing alumni. Some have actually worked for the Dolphins in previous years, and some are currently still working there now, part of their broadcast technician team or graphic design team. So it's pretty cool. Our grads actually are working at the Miami Dolphins, which is really fun.
I have to ask, too, is the most famous graduate would have to be, I think, J.D. Harmeyer on the
We get that a lot, for sure.
He has to be, right?
Yes. So his name comes up quite a bit, but we have lots of Grammy winners, Oscar winners. It's pretty cool what our kids are doing. Yeah, our grads are amazing.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That is awesome. So kind of transitioning to the Dolphins and Orlando, you're like in the middle of all the fun stuff, right? With all the theme parks and everything else up there. But so who is at right now, or actually former or current or both, who's your favorite Miami Dolphins player out of all time for you?
Oh my God. Well, all time, it's got to be Dan. It's got to be Dan for me. I think, my Mount Rushmore of Dolphins players would have to be Marino, Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, and probably Larry Zonka. I would have to say those are my four. No offense to any others. They're all deserving of that title. But I think for me, those are my most, memorable Dolphins. I think current Dolphins, I love Baker. I love Van Ginkel. Gesicki is just, I feel like he's going to break out this year, and he's going to be one of the biggest tight ends, most popular tight ends in the league. Tua, of course. We got a lot of great guys in the team right now that I think could be in that running for my favorite player, actually. So
well, and we'll talk about that towards the end too, about what you think about this coming year. But yeah, the current team makeup and some of these guys that are on there right now, you know, it's very easy to root for them, right? Because they're not only are they good on the field, but you see them off the field too. Like you see Tua was in Hawaii, you know, and he was playing and singing with his parents recently. And then, you know, what you see with like Baker, as you mentioned, and he said, I want to spend the rest of my life with the Miami Dolphins, or the rest of my career with the Dolphins. And he sure goes and signs another couple of years with the team. So you mentioned with Dan Marino, how, you know, we saw a lot of come from behind games with him. So is there any special moment or game that is your favorite all time?
I think that game against the Pats, when him and Bledsoe went just toe-to-toe after his Achilles injury, I think that was week 1 in 94 or 93.
Comeback game.
94.
That game. I remember I can't remember if I was in 8th grade or 9th grade, but that game just blew me away. But I think before that, it's got to be the 85 game against the Bears, at the old Orange Bowl. I think that was probably one of the most memorable for me too. But
nice.
So.
Yeah, those are 2 all-time great games for Dan, for sure.
Yeah.
And that Patriots game was unbelievable. And they play that on the NFL Network a lot. And when you sit there and watch the whole game, at times you're like, how did Miami win this game? Because like in the third quarter and stuff, they're like, how do they win? But man, that 4th down pass to Fryer's unbelievable.
I was just gonna say that Fryer catch, that whole play was just insane.
It's crazy. When you're watching a game at home, what's your favorite food to eat, your snack, your go-to meal when you're watching Miami play?
So I'm afraid to say this because you may end the interview, but my wife is actually from Orchard Park, New York.
Oh, you poor thing.
That's
You're
okay.
a saint.
Her and I, this is hilarious. Her and I met in Orlando, in Florida. So I didn't know she was from Buffalo. I didn't know who she liked. Granted, I didn't know any of that. But so she's a Bills fan. So the house is somewhat divided, but I will say she definitely can bring that tailgate party food to the house like no one else. So we're always cooking wings. I'll usually grill wings, or we'll make like buffalo chicken dip. We'll make tacos. I mean, I'm always grilling.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Has your wife jumped through a table yet?
That was exactly the question I was thinking about, Mike. That's exactly the question I was thinking about.
Her brother has, but she hasn't.
I don't get that whole thing. Why jumping through a table makes you a fan of the Bills. It never makes any sense to me. Whatever. God love them.
Right. I know. And I've been to a couple of games in Buffalo. The worst one was in 2006. We lost 21-0. When Saban was our coach, we had Joey Harrington as a quarterback. The week before, we beat the Patriots 21-0 in Miami. So I'm flying to Buffalo thinking, oh, we're going to smoke these dudes. And we get up there, and it was freezing rain. It wasn't even snowing. It was like December 7th or something, 17th. It was 51 degrees, freezing rain. I mean, it was the worst experience of my life. But
it never goes well there, ever.
The tailgating, though, I will say, and a lot of the Bills fans, some are pretty nasty, but most of them are pretty cool. They were inviting us out because I'm wearing all my stuff, which everyone told me not to, but I was like, whatever.
I've seen horror stories.
Yeah.
Horror stories. I saw.
Most people were cool.
I went there for a game late in the year once, and it was ice cold. Like, I'm talking negative numbers. And Miami actually won. And those fans were so mad after the game. This mom was with her child, 2 kids, walking them to the car. She turns her head for a second to take care of the one kid. Some guy sees the other kid wearing a starter jacket, Miami, those big, expensive starter jackets, Miami Dolphins, goes, hey, kid, waves him over, takes the starter jacket off him, throws it into a bonfire. Turns it. He goes, that's what I think about your Dolphins. And this is the mom then turns her head and realizes what's going on because she literally turned her head for a second, flipping out because they probably got a 2-mile walk to their car, -3. This kid's got no coat now. And it was the expensive coat, probably $100, $120.
Yeah.
Just horror stories I could tell you from there. And it's a horrible place.
And I know those fires you're talking about. It's like the barrels. They
right in the barrel. Yeah, that's what he did.
In the parking lot.
It's
a miserable place. I mean, some of the people are really nice, but
yeah. I mean, of course, there's some nice people, but just overall, they get a thumbs down from me. When you're not listening to Miami Dolphins podcasts like ours, watching games and all that stuff, what do you do for fun? What do you do for fun in Orlando?
Well, I never was a cyclist before the first Dolphins Cancer Challenge, or now Dolphins Challenge Cancer event. But doing that event for the first time back in 2010, I wasn't a cyclist, but now I'm like a super passionate cyclist. And so training and getting ready for that first event really helped me figure out this new passion I had in life, which was to ride my bike all the time. And I fell in love with it. It got me healthy. It got me out of the house. It just gave me something different than sitting at a desk all day, or, just watching TV and drinking too much beer and eating too much junk food. So, I feel like that's probably been for me. And I've done every Dolphins Cancer Challenge event since. So I've done 11 years in a row. I've done the event. So I'd say that's probably the closest thing to being a Dolphins fan and watching the games is I'm just all about riding the bike these days. So.
And I think we got the date for next year. I believe it's February 23rd, I think, or the 22nd.
I think so, yeah, it's in the 20. Yeah, it's February 20-something. I saw that. Yeah, thanks, Ian.
I gotta circle that on my calendar, because last year was my first year being part of it, and
awesome.
And I loved it. I loved everything about it, and I love the support too that the Dolphins family gave for the whole event, and then the fact that they raised. I think they raised over $6 million. They hit a record for the most they've ever raised during a pandemic, by the way.
Yeah.
So that was really, really impressive. So my next question for you, and I think this kind of changes through the years, but what Miami Dolphins opponent do you dislike the most?
Oh man, that's a good question. I would say the Steelers. If we're talking about outside the division, definitely the Steelers, just because of all the heartbreaking games that we've had against them, especially in Miami as a season ticket holder, except for the Jay Ajayi game a couple years ago. But I've seen so many heartbreaking losses in Miami by the way of the Steelers. It just drives me crazy. And their fans too. There's a lot of Steelers fans here in Orlando.
There's a lot of Steelers fans everywhere.
Yeah. And they just, and it just drives me crazy. But I would say right now it's the Bills, just because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous because they're doing so well. And
your wife must be so happy too. She must be like elated.
She's great she doesn't rub it in, which is good, but it had always been the Patriots for me though, just the 2 decades of dominance they had against us in our division. I think I was just so over them winning all the time.
Yep. But now that Brady's gone, I don't think they're going to have that dominance anymore. But I think it's all, everybody's like, well, it might be Belichick. No, I don't think it's Belichick. But all right. So my next question is, you're in Orlando and you said you have season tickets, or your dad has season tickets, and you go to a lot of games. What does your game day look like? Because I know that's a 3-hour drive, 2.5 to 3 hours from Orlando down to Miami. So what does your day look like? Your typical Sunday during football season look like for home games?
So usually we make a weekend out of it. My dad is still living in West Palm, so we'll drive. Either I'll go down just by myself, or sometimes the whole family will go, and we'll get down there on Saturday and hang out and do the family thing. And then Sunday morning, if it's just my dad and I, we wake up and get down there about 10 o'clock, and our parking passes is in the blue lot.
Nice.
So we're kind of near the orange lot. So we usually will park and do our own thing for a little while, but then we'll walk over with all the DWA folks and that whole crew that tailgates in that orange lot.
East 32, baby. That's where it is.
East 32.
Yep.
And
East 12 and East 32. There's 2 of them.
Yes. But then, sometimes we'll head up to the stadium a little early and get in there, and our seats are in the club area. We're in this, it's called Cornerstone Club. It's really cool. So it's like an end zone seat, or like an end zone corner seat, but we have this like little private bar that's within the club section. That's kind of cool in there. And so we'll get in there early. grab some lunch, grab some food, and then, get down to the seats and, watch the intros and all that.
So it's the tradition. This sounds like it's a tradition, just like I have with my 13-year-old. You have yours with your dad, and it sounds like it's worked, which is awesome.
Yeah, and then my son is 9, so sometimes if my dad's kind of tired, he's not feeling it up, my son and I will go to the games, and we'll kind of do the same deal. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's even better. Okay, guys, it's that time in the show.
I love this
where
time.
We have to talk about our sponsor, Manscaped. Now, guys, the sun's out, bums are out, and hopefully your pubes are not out. Also, flip-flop season is upon us, and you're not, and you're out here with those post-pandemic toenails. Don't worry, our friends at Manscaped have you covered. They just launched their 4th generation performance package and the Shears 2.0 nail grooming kit. So everyone go to manscaped.com, use the promo code DolphinsTalk, save 20% on your order, and get free shipping with the 4th generation trimmer. Features advanced skin-safe technology to reduce grooming. You don't want any ingrown hairs or snags on your boys before beach season. If the power grid goes out in Texas again, you can use the Lawnmower 4.0 to illuminate the way with his LED spotlight. The trimmer is also waterproof, so you can trim in the shower and not worry about cleanup on aisle D.
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
So, everyone.
It's a new read. I love it, Mike.
It's a new read.
Nice
I love it. I
job.
know.
Nice job.
So, everyone go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code DolphinsTalk. Save 20%. Get free shipping, whether you're buying the Shears 2.0, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, or any of their great products. You save 20%, and you get free shipping. Now,
so hold on. I just want to show this, and I want to make sure I announce it real loud. The Balls deodorant, because my 13-year-old has a friend over tonight. So I want to make sure that they hear me talking about Balls deodorant.
Dad, what are you doing up there? Jessica, your dad's weird. Right?
She's totally she's gonna complain to my wife tonight.
That's awesome.
I guarantee
I love it.
Guarantee
I love it. Shaun, what's your favorite type of music? What's your favorite type of food and music?
Oh, that's a good one. I mean, I like all kinds of music. I like everything from rock, rap, all of it, pop, you name it. Just anything that's good and has a good beat and good melody. I like. Food wise, I'm a wing guy. I love buffalo wings.
You married into it, man.
I know. I married into a buffalo, family. But I'm not gonna lie. I love me some wings. So
now, when you go up north, because I'm sure she still has some family up there, are you someone who enjoys the Anchor Bar or Duff's?
So out of those two, I prefer the Anchor Bar. Duff's is too saucy for me. I don't know why, but like the wings are just like swimming in sauce at Duff's.
Yeah.
And Anchor Bar is like my Graceland. You got to stop at the Anchor Bar when you're in Buffalo.
Anchor Bar is amazing. I mean, they're both amazing. And for those who don't know, up there, those are that's like Pepsi and Coke when it comes to wings. Like they are rivals, and each one claims they got the best wings. So there's that.
There is a place, so I will say there is a place, and I will give them a shout out. They are part of the enemy because they're very big Bills backers. It's a place in East Aurora called the Bar-Bill Tavern, and it's literally it is the best chicken wing and best beef on weck I've ever tasted. It's incredible. So if you're ever near East Aurora, I got to go to Bar-Bill.
Are there any Hooters up there? Because that's where I would find my wings. And I know I'm weird, and I know we're talking about probably some of the world's best chicken wings in Buffalo, but I'm a Hooters wings kind of guy.
There's nothing wrong with Hooters. Let me tell you that right there. I ain't nobody knocking Hooters. Hooters is still a go-to place. I don't care what they serve me. Hooters.
Love their wings, man. Just had it for Father's Day. It was amazing.
So, Shaun, I guess we got to get to you went viral a couple of years ago with a little video. The Miami Miracle happened, obviously, when the Dolphins beat the Patriots. That wild ending. And we got the video. I'm going to play the video real quick, and then I want to get your thoughts on what was going through your mind at the time and sort of, how that kind of went viral across social media in a lot of ways. So let's play the video real quick.
Okay. Oh my God! Holy shit! You will not believe what just happened! Holy crap!
There you go, Shaun.
Hold on. So
Okay.
I remember seeing, I think it was even on some local news channels. I think I saw it on a couple of the news channels, but who was the guy that ran over to you? Who was that? A neighbor that was a Dolphins fan?
Yeah.
Who was that?
So it's my neighbor Vinny, and he grew up in Miami and had literally just moved into the house. It's 2 doors down from me, maybe less than a year before that. And so he and I get together and watch a lot of the games. Well, he had just had a baby. And after that play had happened, the Miracle Miami play, he could hear me screaming, but he was in his house and he couldn't
scream with the baby.
His brand new baby is sleeping next to him. So he hears me screaming and knows exactly why I'm screaming. So he just decides to run out of the house and just let out all of his, celebration. And we had that little bro hug in the foyer here in my house.
That is terrific.
Yeah,
that was terrific.
That was. I think that's a game everyone obviously. I said to Tom on that post-game wrap-up show the night after that game, that's going to be a game everyone takes to their grave. You were exactly where you were when that play happened. People will not forget it. Everyone's going to know where they were. Yours just happens to be documented on a Ring doorbell, which is great.
I know. And what's funny, I had just installed that doorbell like a couple of days before that game happened and before the video was recorded. And so I never even thought that was there. And it was not until maybe 24 hours later that I even went to think about checking the camera to see the video there. And what's even crazier is I normally am at all the home games, but I had a broken leg. So if you look really closely in the photo, you'll see I'm on a cane. I have a cane next to me because I'm recovering from my leg break. And so I only went to maybe 2 or 3 home games that year. And the Dolphins were so cool to help me out and get me some handicap seats and golf cart rides from the parking lot into the stadium. It was so cool that they were able to do that for me. And but that was a game I let my dad and my uncle go to. So if you can hear me in the end, I'm like, I gave my tickets away. I was so mad that I wasn't.
Was Vinny trying to tell your wife and your daughter exactly what was going on there? Or he was like, the Dolphins won last minute. Like they had to, because they didn't know why you were screaming. I'm sure. Like you opened the door.
They're hanging Christmas lights, so you can see the little snowman in the left, but they're literally hanging Christmas lights because they don't want me on a ladder with a broken leg. Yeah. And of course, my wife is like, "What are you yelling about?" Like she couldn't believe it. But then, of course, she realized what happened and she was happy for us. So yeah,
of course, because also we beat the Patriots, right?
Yes.
That's the other thing.
Yeah,
if you're a Bills fan, you hate the Patriots too. So,
Ian, you want to close this one up?
So the last thing I have for you, Shaun, is we've seen Coach Flores the last 2 years go from 5-11 to 10-6. What do you think is going to happen this coming season? We've got some new players. We've got Tua coming off his first half year. You can't even say a full year, right? So what do you think the trajectory is of the team for 2022 this season and going forward?
Well, I'm all in. I think Flores is going to end up being one of the best coaches ever in the NFL. I've had the chance to meet him briefly at a Dolphins Challenge Cancer event, and I just was taken by him. I think he's an incredible man. He's an incredible leader. So I think he's going to have our boys ready to play and play hard every week in and week out. I think the culture that he's building in Miami right now is unbelievable. I can't believe Jason Lockenford had an article about him being on the hot seat. I thought that was totally ridiculous, by the way. But to see what he did in his first year, and then, obviously last year when people thought he was crazy for taking Tua out and putting Fitzpatrick in, but then we still won 10 games. I mean, I just trust the guy. I feel like he is our guy. He's our next John Shula. I think we will. What is it? Those first 5 games are pretty tough. The schedule.
That's the gauntlet right there, man. That is the gauntlet.
The first half of the year is brutal. You got at the Patriots, home against the Bills, at the Raiders, home against the Colts, at Tampa Bay, London game, home against Atlanta, at the Bills.
Yeah.
Survive the first
8
half.
weeks. First 8 weeks, right? That's
if they survive that first half, just 500, just tread water. The second half, when they get Houston, Giants at home, gets a little bit easier. Jets twice, gets a little bit easier. But their first 8 weeks, they have to be 500 or better if they're 1-5 or something, I mean, they're done. I mean, they're just done. They're not going to. There's not enough games to make up on the back end, and the AFC is so loaded. Even with the extra team in the playoffs and the extra week of games, the AFC, as we saw last year, you can win 10 games and miss. You got to come out of the gate strong.
But here's the thing, too, and I'll just mention this, and I know I've mentioned it a couple of times, that this is one of the first seasons that I can remember where I look at the schedule and I say the Dolphins can beat every single team. Yes, we've had problems against the Ravens before. Yes, the Bills are at a very high level right now, but the Dolphins can still beat them. I think that, if our defense is consistent like they were last year and the offense improves, year over year, plus the new fast weapons that we have, and Tua is definitely, my opinion, he's going to play a lot better. He's going to take a leap this year, when he has a full season. I'm very optimistic too, just like you. I'm all in, and I think there's a lot of people that are doubters, especially and that are Miami Dolphins fans, just because that's what they're used to pretty much the last 25 years. 2020.
That's what there's a younger generation that just grew up with doom and gloom, and they don't know the winning. And I'll say this about the Ravens game: if they don't beat the Ravens this year at home on a short week. So they have to travel on a short week. We're home we're never going to beat them. I mean, if there's ever a year where we should beat the Ravens. Now, mind you, if like 5 guys are hurt and they're out, okay, that happens. But just from a big picture standpoint, this is the year they should beat them at home on a short week. I mean, no, come on. They got to beat them once. Once every 20 years beat them. I don't know. Just once.
Yeah, right. I like what I'm seeing from Tua right now, too. In the offseason, he's been working out with some of the guys. They're throwing the ball. I really like that. I think we're going to see a different Tua this year. I mean, he's going to have a full program under his belt, a full training camp, a full preseason. I mean, he didn't have any of that last year. Plus, he was dinged up still from the hip injury.
Yep.
It looks like he's been hitting the weights, too, which I'm pumped. And then I cannot wait to see Will Fuller. We got Wilson back. I mean, this offense is completely different now. And I'm pumped. I cannot wait. So,
yeah, Shaun, thanks for joining us here tonight. Do you have anything you want to plug? Any social media, anything that you want to sort of promote?
No, not really. I mean, just the Dolphins Challenge Cancer events, we're always raising money for that. I don't have a fundraiser set up yet for the next one, but if you want to follow me on Twitter at just @Shaun Moore, that would be great. I usually post a lot of my training rides and fundraising updates through that. And just want to say thanks to all those folks that are with the DCC, like Javier Sanchez, Abby Ray, Jesse Marks. Of course, you got to give it up to the boss, Stephen Ross and Mr. Tom Garfinkel. Without their amazing leadership, I don't think this event would be what it is. And it is by far the best event I've ever done in terms of any kind of ride or run or anything like that. So if you're on the fence about checking it out, they have 25-mile rides. They have ways to fundraise that you can get involved, and you don't need to be worried about having to sit on the bike for 100 miles like I am every year.
5-kilometer walk. That's what I did, and I'm totally cool with that. And so.
Shaun, so thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be back with another episode of the Fan Series shortly. So have a great day, everyone.
Fins up, everybody.
Woo!